All right, welcome, Strat fans. Get my camera in place here. I'm gonna have to do it this way. We're rolling a game here. Not really. It's not an official game. We're rolling a little bit for fun, which this is supposed to be, right? And we have got the we have our league here that just finished a draft of 1941 and 1956 combined players, along with a handful of selected stars from various seasons, like 1911 Ty Cobb is included. You have 1965 Willie Mays. And so, but the core of the players were from 1941 and 1956. Just finished the draft, and the two teams are my team, the Texas Colt45s, with Bob Gibson on the mound. I had actually drafted Satchel Paige, but traded Satchel to the Homestead Grays for Bob Gibson, and it's kind of a push almost when you compare the two cards. And I opted to go with Gibson. And then Emma, who has the Tucson Tigers, is the other team represented here. So we've got the Texas Colt 45s and the Tucson Tigers for kind of a scrimmage game here, if you will. And we have Ted Williams, actually, and that was her number one pick. Mine was Mickey Mantle, so we'll see him in the bottom half of the inning. We are playing in my chosen stadium of the 1956 Detroit Tigers, 1956 Detroit, which has a ballpark singles are 1-7, left and right. And ballpark home runs are 1-12, so pretty easy to remember. Fly ball right field B 13-20. So here we go. I actually already had the first roll, and well, look at that Teddy ball game. Ted Williams is right out of the chute with a leadoff single. So Williams with the leadoff single. And Bob Gibson, he already came into camp, if you will, with a little bit of an attitude because he didn't like being traded. And so with Ted Williams at first base, that will bring up Duke Snyder from the 1956 Brooklyn Dodgers, Duke Snyder. So runner at first with nobody out. Here's the what I call the havoc roll. Some people call it the chaos roll. So basically for balk, pick off, that sort of thing, of course. You should have people that know that, as we're doing super advanced here. And here's Duke Snyder stepping in. The roll is a 4-9. 4-9 on the left side is a walk. So Gibson, after giving up a leadoff hit to Ted Williams, has now walked Duke Snyder. Yeah, I'm keeping score over here by hand off to the side. And with 2 on and nobody out, it is Charlie Keller. Now, I see somebody's joined to watch along here, so you can make a comment in the chat, and so I'll know who's on. So there's 2 on, nobody out. Charlie Keller will be the hitter. Nothing on the havoc. And here's the pitch, Gibson. It's a 2-6. Now, Gibson is a right-hander, so we look over here. 2-6 is going to be a walk. So Gibson having a little bit of a rough start here against the Tigers. He now loads the bases with nobody out. And that will bring up Emma. Just checking on your boys. Well, they're off to a good start here. A single by Teddy to lead off the game, and then back-to-back walks. And now the hitter is Dolph Camilli. And somebody else has joined, it looks like, here also. I see two people on. So, all right. So Gibson, a little bit of a rough start here. He's got the bases loaded with nobody out. Dolph Camilli is the hitter. The infield is going to go ahead and come all the way in for the Colt 45s. Here's the Havoc roll. It's a 2. We'll go ahead and roll it again. It's a 19, so we know nobody's going to have a balk or a pass ball of 19, so it's hardly even worth checking. All right, so nothing on the Havoc, and Dolph Camilli steps in. Here's the pitch from Gibson. It's a 3-9, and Gibson, and that is a strikeout on Camilli's card. So get another hitter's card roll, but Gibson gets a break there, and Camilli will strike out. So the infield will stay in, 1 out, bases loaded, and the batter will be Ray Boone. Here's the Havoc roll. It's a 14, so nothing. Infield all the way in. Here's the pitch to Boone. It's a 4-6. That, by the way, is the column you want to hit in with Gibson. Boone's a right-handed hitter, a 4-6, but that's only a single 1-2. So we'll roll the D20. It is a 12, and so that's a line out to third base. So Boone gets some good wood on it, but it's right at the third baseman, Babe Dahlberg, and he puts it away for out number 2. So after loading the bases with a single and 2 walks, a strikeout and a line out, and now it's up to Stan Lapata, the Tigers catcher, will step in the clutch. Just a quick look at his card. He's got that diamond in the 3-5, which comes into play here in this park, in my park, which is 1-12 for ballpark home runs. Can I challenge the call? Yeah. Too late. Here's the Havoc roll. Bases. Oh, it's another 2. So let's roll it again. An 18 this time. So still, there's not going to be anything that high. I mean, I'll do the quick obligatory check. My catcher Crandall is a pass ball 1, and we see that balk 0 on Bob Gibson. All right, it's up to Lapata here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. It is a 2-7, and he walks in the run. A great at bat by Lapata there, if that's how you say it, Lapata. That's how it looks like it's said. So Gibson, a really rough start here. So Teddy, who led off the game, ends up coming in on a bases loaded walk, and with the bases still loaded, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the number 7 hitter, Jim Gilliam, will come to the plate. So Gilliam to face Gibson. Still bases loaded, 2 outs. Havoc roll is a 7. Gilliam steps in. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-9. A 1-9 on Gilliam's card is going to be a ground ball, second base C. So Gilliam is a 4-3 on the ground, scooped up, thrown over to first. Jimmy Fox makes the play, catches it at first, and that retires the side. So the Tigers send 7 to the plate. They push 1 across. Bob ends up limiting the damage. And after the top of the first, it's 1-0 Tigers. Stepping on the mound for the Tigers will be their top pitcher pick in the draft, which is Lou Burdett, Burdett, 1956 Milwaukee, from the Milwaukee 1956 team. So there's a look at Burdett's card. He will face the top of the order here, of course, in the bottom of the first. It is Pee Wee Reese for the Texas Colt 45. Reese steps in. Mickey Mantle is on deck. And here's the pitch. It's a 111. 111. Now, Burdett is a right-handed thrower. Oh, 111 is a ballpark home run chance. 1-12. Pee Wee Reese. And that is gone. Oh, man. Reese, nice start for him as he has a leadoff home run for the Colt 45s, and it's 1-1. I always like to do a double check, so it was a well that it got that got knocked over. Mound Mound visit already. So there's still nobody out, and of course there's only been one batter. Here comes Mickey Mantle. Now I've gotten to where I've done so many different ways I roll the dice. I would roll them all together, and then I roll them separately. And I finally decided, you know what? I'm going to be consistent. I'm just going to do it. I know people do it their own ways. As long as you know from the beginning how other person's doing it, you know, I'm for me, I'm good with that. I've decided I just roll the 3 6-sided dice first, and then if it's a split roll, then I roll the 20. I realize I can roll it at the same time, but I just don't choose to do that. Because some people want to count the 20 when it's all rolled together, and that's how they do it in a lot of strat tournaments. If you roll the 20, it counts either for the split roll. It also counts for like X chance on the X charts. So I just decided I'm just going to roll it separately. So that's how I do it. And so what happens sometimes though, when you'll have the roll, and then I'll roll the D20 and it'll knock over one of those dice. Well, that original roll stays. So anyway, all right, so here's Mickey Mantle. The Mick, 1956. What a year this was for him. He had 353, a 464 on base, 52 home runs for the Mick in center field for the Yankees there. And he steps in to face Lou Burdett. Here's the pitch. It is a 5-11. Mickey's a switch hitter, so he's batting left-handed. 5-11 is a right field X. So I like rolling the 20 separately to increase it. Yeah. A lot of people do. That's one of the reasons why they do it. It does increase the drama. I agree. Can you help me here, Emma? Who's playing right field for you? I don't have your. Well, I'm using my phone that you had sent the message on, and I don't have a separate deal. Let's see. Is that going to be? Is Ted in right field or is he in left? Ted Williams. Okay. And a 1940s. Let's see what that E13 adjusts to in a 1940s. It adjusts to an E8. So he's a 3E8. And so we'll go ahead and roll for that. Now, whenever one pops out, I always re-roll, drop it in again. 19, he's going to range that. The error roll is a 13, so we'll check that in right field. E8, there is no 13. Ted runs it down, and there is one away. So Mickey flies out to right field. We'll say F9 there. Ted makes a play, one down, and here's Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox, the number 3 hitter for the Colt 45s. Here's the pitch. It is a 2-6. Burdett, again, is a right-handed, so 2-6. That's a split roll single 1-6. It's at 8, so we got a ground ball. He puts it on the ground to second. Scooped up, thrown over to first, and that is it for Fox. So 2 down. We have a 1-1 tie. Interesting first inning here. And following Jimmy Fox will be Charlie Maxwell, that the Colt 45s actually acquired in a trade during the draft. So Maxwell, with 2 outs and nobody on, will be the hitter. It's a 210. Uh-oh. That is another ballpark home run chance. 1-12 in this park. It's a 17. He hits it high and deep to center. Going back, and it dies on the warning track. Caught for out number 3. So we'll call that an F8. So at the end of 1, it is 1-1. The Tigers in the top of the first got the bases loaded, and on a bases loaded walk, Ted Williams scored. He led off the game with a hit. And then Pee Wee Reese led off the bottom of the first with a solo home run. So Bob Gibson comes out for his second inning of work. Gibson will face Harvey Kuhn. I guess maybe is how you say it. Harvey Kuhn. That's how I would kind of say it looking at it, but who knows? Who knows for sure? I like his card, though. And he is a right-handed hitter. So Kuhn steps in. And here's the pitch. It's a 2-8. 2-8 on the right side. He hits the ball back. Gibson scoops it up, throws it over to Fox at first base. And that is a 1-3 putout for out number 1 for the number 8 hitter in the order. So that'll bring up the pitcher, Lou Burdette, who is the 2 hitting card for the pitcher. So we'll kind of throw the 2 hitting card in there. And here's the pitch from Gibson. It's a 4-5. Again, if you're going to hit Gibson, it's on that side. Now let's see. Burdette bats right-handed. So a 2, what did I say it was? I mean, a 4-5. That is a solid single. So good for Burdette, the pitcher. Showing the hitters on his bench how it's done. And Burdette is on at first base with 1 out. And now we're back to the top of the order with the dangerous Teddy ball game. Ted Williams steps in. He's 1 for 1. Led off the game with a hit. Here's the havoc roll. It's a 20. Teddy steps in. Here's the pitch. 5-7. That's where it gets tough on Gibson. Yep. 5-7 is a strikeout. You get that 5 and 6 column for Gibson, and it's going to be tough. So Gibson gets the best of Teddy this time with the strikeout, and with 2 outs and 1 on. Mound visits work. Yeah, you tell him how to hit the ball too. Let's see. Oops, I put the card in the wrong spot. Okay, 2 outs and 1 on. And the hitter is Duke Snyder. So Burdette is the runner at first. The pitcher gets a hit. Nothing on the havoc roll. Here's Snyder. 1-7. That is another walk. He worked a walk his first time up as well. So 2 walks for Snyder, not getting anything to hit, at least in his opinion, from Gibson. And Burdette will move down to second. And with runners at first and second and 2 outs, it's up to Charlie Keller in the clutch. Let's take a quick look at his card. Oh, he does gain a little bit. He gains the 110 roll. And it looks like maybe that's it. But he also has this very dicey looming diamond in the 3-6. All right, here's the havoc roll. It is a 5. Keller steps in. Gibson gets the sign, and here's the pitch. 6-10, lefty. That's a short X. I'm going to go ahead and just roll it, and then we'll do the lookup. That could be trouble. 17. That's probably going to be an error. Let's see. My shortstop is Pee Wee Reese. He is a 1. Let's see. He's a 40. No, wait. Yeah, he's a 40s player also. So E18 adjust to an E11. So he's a 1 E11. So he does range it. Shortstop E11. Oh, let me 40s. There is an 11, so we always go up to the next one, which is 12. So he's going to be an E12. And wow, 17 is not an error on shortstop, E12. 15 under E1, and then 3 and 18 under E2. So Reese, very solid defensively, thankfully for me. Scoops it up, throws it over to first, and that retires the side. Well, I guess that's why you have a good defense there in that spot. So Gibson gets out of that inning. More runners on base though for the Tigers again after a hit and another walk. And we go to the bottom of the second, and it is Lou Burdett out for his second inning of work. He will face Stan Musial. Now, this isn't one of his superstar years, but still not too bad. 310, 386 on base, 27 home runs. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's not like his most biggest superstar year, but Stan Musial playing left field today. I'd have to double check that. I'm not going to do it at the moment. We'll do it if we get a right field X. I'm still learning my team and where everybody's going. All right. So here's Burdett against Musial. It's a 6-6. He's a lefty. Uh-oh, that is a solid single off Burdett's card. So Musial leads off the bottom of the second with a single. Now, those of you that either jump on and watch or watch this later, the coach of the Tucson Tigers is actually on and watching this and making some comments in the chat. And this isn't an official game, so I'm not asking for, coaching moves and that sort of thing necessarily, unless you have one you want to make at any time. Of course, you could jump in and say you want to do something, and I'll do it. So Musial is on at first, 1 out, nobody on. No outs, 1 on. Get that right. And the next hitter is Gil McDougald. I'm guessing that's how you say it. D-O-U-G in the middle. So Doug. Maybe they said McDougald. Anyway, here's Gil stepping in. There's a 2 on the Havoc. I always just roll it again real quick. A 12. Burdett is a balk 0, and I'm certain that the catcher is not a pass ball 12. That's Lapata. He's a pass ball 0, actually. So there's no, even if a 2's roll, it doesn't mean anything. I trust you. All right, very good. I always, when I roll games, in times where we've played it where the home team always rolled the games no matter what in some past leagues. Sometimes it is hard coaching against yourself, but I always try to be fair and try to do what I think the other coach would do. So anyway, all right. So McDougald steps in. Here's the pitch. Oh, that was a 5. It's a 5-5. Uh-oh. 5-5 is going to be a hit of some kind. It's a potential home run. Let's see. Is he an end power? He is on both sides. So 1-11. And it's a 15. So it's a double. Open double for McDougald. I'm just going to go ahead and score it. Move Musial around to third. And then I'm going to decide whether I'm going to try to score Musial. You know what? He's a 1-11 runner. Really? Yikes. And in center field, you have.
You gonna eat that last thing?
Am I going to?
All right, I'm gonna clean up stuff.
I'm looking at your cards. That's Duke Snyder, and he's a -3. Yeah, there's no way he's going. So usual. I'm not even going to do the math, knowing he's a -3 out there, and Musel's a 1-11. Not even going to do the math. He pulls up third. So, but there's runners at second and third with nobody out. So Burdett in a little bit of trouble here. Let's see how he pitches with some trouble. Yep, Snyder in center, gotcha. All right, runners at second and third after the single by Musel and the double by McDougald. And here's Babe Dahlgren. Babe Dahlgren, just to give you a little bit about him. 1941 Chicago Cub. And he is playing, I can tell you this, he's playing third base for me as a 4 E28. Let's see what that translates to. 4 E17 on the normalized chart that Strat put out for older seasons. Okay, here we go. Here's the Havoc. The 12. And here's the pitch. It's a 4-12 righty. Let's see what that gives us. That is going to be a fly ball center field B, which basically is a sac fly. So Dahlgren, in his first at bat, hits a sac fly for out number 1, but Musial tags and scores. That ball way deep. McDougald holds at second base, and it's 2-1. The next batter up is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, my 8 hitter, my catcher, Del Crandall. 1 out, 1 on. Nothing on the Havoc. And the pitch. It's a 5-6. Righty, 5-6. Uh-oh. Kind of hitting that rough spot for Burdett right now. That's the way the rolls go sometime. It's probably going to be a single. It's a triple to 1. Let's see. It's a 15. So it is a 2-star single, though, and Crandall gets an RBI. As McDougald comes around to score. And with 1 out, Crandall's the runner at first base. And it is Bob Gibson, the hitter. Now, Gibson is an A bunter, but there is 1 out, so I'm going to let him swing away. So let me slide the hitter's card. There we go. Where it's not blocking the dice. Runner at first. There's a 9. And the pitch. It's a 5-7. That scoots past the trouble area. And that is a pop out to first base. So Gibson pops 1 up in the air. It is secured for out number 2. And with 2 outs and 1 on, we back to the top of the order. Pee Wee Reese. Reese led off the bottom of the first with a solo home run. Here's the Havoc. It's a 5. And the pitch. A 6-2. Sometimes those 2s, when they pop up, they scare me, particularly when I'm on defense. But that 6-2 is a fly ball center field B. So Reese flies out to center, swinging. He got in his head that he likes hitting home runs, and he took a big hack at that one. And popped it out to center field. So 2 in, though, for the Colt 45s, and after 2 full innings, it's the Colt 45s 3 and the Tucson Tigers 1. And we go to the bottom of the top of the third, and it's Dolph Camilli. Camilli steps in. It's a 2-8. 2-8 righty is fly out to center. So Camilli, unfortunately for him, is 0 for 2. Just first game, just a unofficial game here. So that'll bring up Ray Boone. Boone lined out to third his first time up with the bases loaded. 1-6. What does that look like? 1-6. Oh man. I know for a lot of players that 1 column is good. For Boone, it's really the 2 column. So 1-6. He puts the ball on the ground to short. Scooped up and on over to first for out number 2. Pee Wee Reese, my shortstop. All right. I'm still having to make sure I put cards in the right stack. And with 2 outs, it is Stan Lapata. Lapata had a bases loaded walk RBI in the first. It's a 3-11. Oh, man, just missed the ballpark home run chance. But it's going to be something. It's a split roll. Let's see what it's an 11, and that is a 2-out double for Lapata. So Lapata with a 2-out double puts a runner in scoring position. And that brings up Jim Gilliam. Gilliam, I assume, playing second base. I'm pretty sure. He looks like he's got pretty good second base numbers. And he gained some in the clutch. So he's in the clutch here. I did notice, he picked up that 2-9. And he's a switch hitter. I had my eye on him in the draft too, but Emma took him before I could. All right, here is the havoc roll. It's nothing. Gilliam with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. It's a 3-2, and he walked him. So Gilliam works a walk. Lapata's still at first. And that brings up Harvey Kuhn in the clutch. Now, for him, he gains in the clutch also. All right, I see how you are, Emma. Finding those cards that gain in the clutch. He gains a 7 in the 1 column. That's pretty sweet. All right. Here's the havoc roll. A 10. And the pitch. Well, it's on Bob's card. It's a 6-7 righty, and he struck him out. Bob's pretty tough when you roll on his card. No question about it. And that's the end of the top of the 3rd inning. That will have Lou Burdett on up to bat if he hits again in the 4th. And he'll come out for his 3rd inning of work. Unless you want to change to somebody else. Mickey Mantle is leading off. Mick is 0 for 1 with a fly to center field, or rather, a fly to Ted Williams in right field his first time up. All right, Mickey steps in. Burdett looks in, gets a sign. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-4. Now, for me, that would be a nice clutch roll, but there's nobody on base. And that is a solid strikeout. Boy, Burdett makes him look silly on that one. And Mantle slinks back over to the dugout with 1 out. It's Jimmy Fox. Nobody's up in the bullpen. Okay. That's one thing about Strat is maybe something that should be implemented in some way, but There isn't. Not that I know of. Maybe you could correct me. It could be a league thing, but you don't necessarily have to say, "Oh, I've got somebody up in the bullpen warming up." You can just make a change, and it's already assumed that he's warm. So anyway, Fox. Oops, dropped that one. Foul ball, and the pitch. 2-9. 2-9. He struck him out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Burdette to start the bottom of the third. And with 2 outs and nobody on, the batter is Charlie Maxwell. Here's the pitch. 5-11 against a lefty. That's a right field X. That's Ted out there again. I always just like to go ahead and just grab him and drop him in there. 16 is going to range. And an 8. What did we say he was? I'm sure 8's not an error, but we'll go ahead and kind of go through the motions here. E13 changes to an E8. E8, when we say the error was an 8 also. Nope, not an error, but a 6 would be. So that's a little bit problematic. That 6 will pop up. The rest of his errors are really high. 15, 16, 17, 18. So he won't make too many, but that 6 may pop up from time to time. But he makes the play there, and that retires the side. So a nice inning there for Burdette. He is actually due up to hit here in the fourth. Do you want to hit for him with somebody else, and then go to a different pitcher? I'm actually changing pitchers myself. And that new pitcher is I wish AJ was on and watching, because I'm going to go with Don Newcomb. We had some discussions about Newcomb, his numbers this year, 1956. Dang it, I can pick it up. 56. 3.06 ERA, 139 strikeouts, only 46 walks. He did allow 33 home runs in 268 innings. So that's kind of his deal. He's got this home run roll right here on the 4-9 is almost a sure home run against righties. Not quite as much against lefties. So that was the discussion that we had. I went ahead and took him because I think he can still do a nice job. Sure, let me look at the roster. Okay, I'll give you a second. So, yeah, is that going to come up and bite? Yes, it will come up some. But he's got, the rest of his card is really good. And, what are the odds that 4-9 is going to come up? I mean, they're a little on the lower side, but let's see. Tommy Henrich. Okay, so let me go to your bench over here and find that card. All right, found him. So the new pitcher is Don Newcomb. He is also a right-hander, and the pinch hitter for Burdette will be Tommy Henrich. Henrich is from 1941 Yankee. So he played with Jolton Joe DiMaggio. All right, so Henrich steps in. Newcomb gets a sign. Here comes the pitch. It's a 6-7. That's the 4 column is where that problematic home run is, not in the 6 column. And the 6-7 against a lefty is a strikeout. So Henrich pinch hits, and Newcomb gets him swinging. So that brings us back to the top of the order, and it's Ted Williams, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout himself. Ted steps in. Johnny Murphy will take them out. Okay. It's a 3-5. Oops, I forgot to put Ted's card in there, but guess what that's going to be? 3-5. He rips one through the hole for another hit. Ted Williams is 2 for 3. And he is on at first base with 1 out. And the batter is Duke Snyder. So Ted getting on, and he's going to get on base a lot. That year, obviously, is 1941. He hit 406. His on-base percentage, 551. He's going to get on base a lot in front of this guy, Duke Snyder, who is going to drive him in a lot. If not in with a home run around the bases. So here we go. Newcomb with 1 out and Williams at first. Here's the havoc. It's a 9. And here's the pitch. It is a 110. Oh, it's that 2 column. You got to watch out for Duke. Against the right-hander, a 110 is a ground ball second base C. So the ball is hit on the ground, scooped up by the second baseman. On to first. Doesn't have a play on Williams at second. So it is a productive out. 4-3 on the putout for out number 2. But Ted moves up to second base and is in scoring position for Charlie Keller in the clutch. Here comes Charlie Keller to face Newcomb. See if he can pick up an RBI here. 14. And the pitch. It's a 5-7 lefty. Second base X. So learning my my team again. I got to double check. Pee Wee Reese at shortstop. I got to double check. Who do I have playing second base again? Oh, McDougal. He's a 2 E13, so not too bad. That E13, I haven't written him on the cards yet, and I did that. I will do that. He's a 50s player, so E13 just to an E9, so it doesn't change much. So a 2E9, and I usually have already rolled that. 11 will range it, and a 6. Let's see, second base. There isn't a 9, so he jumps up to the 10 instead. And that 6 is not an error. His errors are 4, 16, and 17 there, and then 18. So not too bad. So Keller grounds out to second base also, and that ends the threat there for the Tigers. And let me find that new pitcher, Johnny Murphy. Johnny Murphy. Double checking my time here. I probably am not going to roll like a full 9 innings. I'll probably roll like 2 more innings. I've been out of town for a couple days, so I'll go in there and hang out with my wife after a couple innings here. So we'll do, let's see, this will be the bottom. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the top of the 4. So bottom of the 4th here. We'll finish through 6. How about that? All right, Johnny Murphy will be on the mound. Newcomb gets through there. Burdette is out of the game. And there's Johnny Murphy's card right there. Now, to lead off, he'll face Stan Musial. Musial is 0 for 1. He singled and came around and scored. Here's the pitch. It's a 5-12 lefty. First base X. All right, here we go with another X roll. Tell me who's playing first base for you. Get some rest. Spring training is BS anyway. Okay, I got you. Maybe I'll just go through the 5th instead. So it's a 15 and then an 8. Who's playing first base for you? That's going to be Dolph Camilli, isn't it? Okay, he's a 1 E17. which converts to a 9, so E9, 8. First base, E9. There is not an 8 there, so he makes the play. There is a 7. So Musial grounds out. So we'll do my at bat here, and then your at bat, one more at bat for your team, and then I'll wrap it up. So, well, that's a 3-end assisted for 1 out. Okay, so Musial is down, and the next batter is Gil McDougall facing Murphy. Here's the pitch. A 6-8 righty. There's a second base X. Let's go ahead and roll it. That second baseman is Gilliam. Is that right? It is. He's a 2E17. Again, 17 to a, wait a minute. 17 changes to a 12. 12 at second base. Not a 13. Oh, but a 1. Oh, crud. Yeah, that's going to be a single. I didn't notice the D20 was a 1. So McDougall with a single that scoots just under the glove. And with 1 out and 1 on, it's Babe Dahlgren. Looking for a double play ball here is Murphy. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's the pitch. It's a 4-11. Righty, 4-11. Shortstop B. Scooped up by short over to Gilliam. They get the force at second base, and McDougall is out. But they're unable to turn 2, and Dahlgren is safe on a fielder's choice. So with 2 outs, Dahlgren is the runner at first, and Del Crandall will be the hitter. Nine. Here's the pitch. 6-6. Righty, 6-6. Hits the ball in the air to center. That is an easy one in center field for Snyder. He puts it away, and that retires the side. So F8. And we go to the last at bat here. The pitcher, we're still going to have Don Newcomb out there. So Newcomb comes out for another inning of work, and he will face Dolph Camilli, Ray Boone, and Stan Lapata. So Camilli steps in. It's a 5-7 lefty. That's a second base X for me. Ooh, better check that. A 4. This is one of the reasons why to do this, to kind of get more familiar with your team. Again, he's a 2E13. So 4, 2 is a G3. So he still makes the play. And an 11. 13, 8. Yeah, he makes the play. All right. So 1 down. And here's Ray Boone. Boone steps in. Here's the pitch. It's a 5-8. Keep getting a lot of pitcher's card rolls. So you're not getting to see a lot of what your hitters can do on their home cards. So sorry about that. But that's the way the dice roll. So we just, So that was a pop out the short. Okay. And Lapata, he had a He's 1 for 2. No, he's 1 for 1 with a double and a bases loaded walk. So he's had a nice game. 1-2. Don't see that too often. A 1-2 is a single. So Gilliam, or rather Lopata, with another hit. A 2-out hit for him. And that brings up Gilliam. Havoc. 6. Here's the pitch. Here we go. 2-8. Not as good column. Against Newcomb, that 2-8, he pops it up in the air. Jimmy Fox calls for it. He makes the catch, and that retires the side. All right, in our brief, abbreviated kind of half a game, the Colt 45s scored 3, and the Tigers scored 1. But there was still much baseball to play, so who knows how that would have ended up all the way through. All right, well, that was it. Emma, thanks for jumping on, and I always enjoy doing this. And I'm going to cut it off now, and let me show you some of the stuff in my baseball room here. You might check this out. Pretty cool, huh? Check out this picture. This is the 1922 New York Yankees. If you look right in the middle, there's a great big dude. Right there. There's the babe. Pretty cool. All right. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot.